Care Challenge Day 4, and today we talk about forgiveness and the heart chakra. Very fitting, right? Again, as we do, going to look for me on the Facebook platform if we are showing up live yet, so I can share out to the groups. There we are. Fantastic. Forgiveness is a big one, you guys, right? But it's so important. Can you see how when we don't forgive, how that sits like right here in the chest and the heart chakra? How it can feel so heavy, how it can feel so icky, how it can block our willingness or that energy flow in our relationships when we love ourselves, when we love another. And I almost thought today, like, because I hadn't actually journaled on pen and paper yet, and I was almost thinking, I don't really have that thing today, right, to talk about. We know that's not true, right? Of course we do. And I won't go into all the details, but I did talk with Iona today about some things that came up. Fortunately, I wasn't feeling as icky as I probably would have in the past about it, but it is still very much in my awareness and moving through still some of the ickiness, right? Like some of the hurt feelings and the ego is feeling very sad and disregarded and unloved and things like that, right? So to not allow it or permit it to go into things like resentments, but just having it in the awareness and being the observer of it and allowing it to give me the perspective that it needed to really expand my vision and my mission and my own self-love, right? Hey, there she is. Hi, Iona. Iona says, "Hey, love. Thanks for being here." Wasn't sure if you were on or not. Like I sent a message. I'm like, gosh, she might be busy, and that's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and do this anyway. So, again, today's topic is about forgiveness. And I also pulled up something. I'm not going to put it on screen to share it, but I'm going to read just a smidgen of it. Just they're not my words, right? They are words that I have shared because I share the perspective of it. But just a friendly reminder in someone else's words on this website. It's if I can even pronounce it, Vitali Chi, maybe vitalichi.co. It's a blog, well-being, about forgiveness, also talking about the heart chakra. But it also states that forgiveness is the release of resentment or anger, right? Period. This is away from that for a minute. So, in my own words, oftentimes we think that forgiveness is giving someone a pass to continue doing what they did, and that's not it at all. Or we think that forgiveness means we have to allow that whatever the thing is to keep occurring, and that's not it at all, right? It is literally just the release for us of the resentment or the anger. Doesn't mean reconciliation. Back to the quoted page. One doesn't have to return to the same relationship or accept the same harmful behaviors from an offender. An offender is kind of a harsh word, but it's whoever we feel upset by, right? Whoever we feel did the thing we would need to forgive. Let me see what there's another sentence in here I believe I wanted to share. Forgiveness, here's a quote: forgiveness has been shown to elevate mood, enhance optimism, and guard against anger, stress, anxiety, and depression. Sounds different in those words to guard against that, right? But it does really, allowing that forgiveness. We no longer carry that block of that ick, of that resentment, of that anger that gets in our way. It's very freeing to be able to forgive. So that's actually all I'm going to share from that. But just wanted to share it, wanted to go over that. Anna says, I love that, right? It's a big one, I think. It was for me, that's for darn sure. Oh, you were eating. I'm sorry, love. I just finished up a few minutes ago. Anna says, no, I have not been on long. No, I guess it says 4 minutes, 25 seconds. Sorry, I missed the beginning. No worries at all. I used to have my one-to-one clients write letters of forgiveness. That's a good one, right? That is a good one. I've done a lot of exploration with past clients just about what gets in the way of that forgiveness or what it means, to start there. What does forgiveness mean to you? Because whatever definition we have, whatever meaning it holds for each of us, is going to play a huge role in our ability to allow that forgiveness to occur, right? And I also love, sorry, I'm going to leave that up there, Iona, so I remember where I'm at. But I also love watching Matt Kahn talk about forgiveness. And in his own words, he softened it a little bit more. Like instead of us doing the forgiving, if we're not ready to do that, to have that acceptance or that level yet, can we allow forgiveness to occur, right? Can we just allow it to happen? Whether you, again, whichever name you give for God, source, creator, universe, can you allow that forgiveness to happen? Can you allow that energy to occur? Can you allow that to shift and lift, really, right? Some of that resentment or anger that we carry. And I really love that. And I love that choice of words too, to just allow it to occur, that I could detach myself from it a little bit more. I don't really have to control it, right? Because whether I forgive someone or not, they could pretty much care less. Sometimes we say we care, like, please forgive me. And that's just part of our way of apology. But when it comes down to it, it doesn't really matter if that person knows if we forgive them or not. It's our stuff. Iona says forgiveness came up this week in the book You Can Heal Your Life. Oh, they did it. Okay. It's been so long, and I don't even know if I read that whole book, but it's been so long since I read that one. Iona says who we are offended by. Yeah, for sure, right? I sent 2 messages earlier checking in on my ex-husband and my ex long-term partner, and it is in alignment with the cycle happening in my life, right? Isn't it massive? And how the changes in that energy shifts and what shifts in our physical reality, our physical experience after that. It's so cool. It literally said, live and I can. I cannot. Sorry, I messed that one up a little bit. I forgive myself for all the choices that led to the space I am in right now. It wasn't what my human, in quotes, plan as it looks like failure, but I recognize it as my divine plan. That's a great point too, right? How we see it. I too have had to and continue to forgive myself on choices that I have made, choices that I made that, hurt others, choices that I made when I let my ego take the lead, choices that I made that put myself in, like you said, in situations that aren't great for me. Um, Definitely forgiveness is an all the way around. And I agree, there is a divine plan. And sometimes just because life doesn't look how we expected it to or how we initially planned or intended it to be, even though it shifts and changes and clears very differently. In the movie, my favorite one, right, the Celestine prophecy, and in the books, that quote sticks with me all the time where they say, things are not always as they seem. And that's so true. Just because we see it, like you said, Iona, in the moment, it seems like failure. It's just this one moment that we're looking at, that one piece of it that we're looking at, because there's so much more involved and so much more to come. And look at all the clearing and how much space that you've created for more to come in. And oh man, it's going to be amazing. Exactly. They don't care. They don't. Like, not to be rude, but they don't. Or they may care to a degree, but like to the level that we hold on to the resentment and anger, the level that we think it's going to the point it's making, it's not. It's really not. We're just fooling ourselves to hold on to stuff. Try to watch my language there just a little bit. Exactly. Iona says it is our stuff. It is our stuff. 1,000,000%. Oh, amazing book. I'm going to check it out again. Never what I had imagined. I feel you. I feel you. I know for sure things are not as they seem, right? And I love that. And again, just in the movie and how things were, it's like it came, the quote was given at the divine time, right? At a perfect time in the book where it was like, oh, wow. Yeah. So I'll share this. Actually, I will share this one piece. I was debating it there for a minute or kind of feeling into it, like, should I, shouldn't I? I don't want to ruin the book or the movie for anybody, but here's just this one piece to drive that statement, that quote home. In the movie, I'll just say dude was was trying to find chick, okay? I'm not even gonna give the name. So if you read it or you watch the movie, then you'll be like, oh, but if you don't, it's fine. So dude is literally like on a journey. He hops on it is a bike. He hops on a bike and he's trying to find these trails because they're in like was it Peru? I think they're in Peru. So he's on these back trails and he's trying to stay away from these rebels of being captured, right? Or by the government who is also after them. So he's on his back trail and he comes up to a Y in the road, right? Or fork in the road. And literally stops and he's kind of sitting with it for a minute. And he looks one way and it looks kind of dark. And he looks the other way and, it brightens up. It's just the way of the movie kind of saying your intuition shows you and follows you and guides you, right? So he follows a road that lights up. Well, boom, he gets captured. So then he's like, the total confusion. I followed my guidance. I leaned into it. This is the whole point of this book and this movie, and the purpose of him being where he's at, and so on and so forth. He's just trying to find this chick, but he gets captured. Now what, right? So you would think if you were actually in that situation, now that I'm captured, I'm locked in this building that looks like a mini jail, if you will. There's no hope. Like hope is gone. I'm captured. I can't find the person. I've been captured, right? And then he's visited. Well, the person he's visited by is no longer in human physical life existence. So there's that. Excuse me. But then, and that's when the other guy, the visitor, has says that things are not always as they seem. So then when Jude kind of wakes up, like, oh, as if he was dreaming, he looks out through the bars of the windows of this little mini jail and he sees a flower that he had envisioned of where Chick was at. So then he realizes after they let him out of this little jail thing, she's there. He did exactly find her. He was led exactly to her. And then he was at her jail window. He's like, I don't know how I know, but don't worry. We're going to get out of here. It'll be okay. And they did. So we just don't always know the exact very thing he asked for. He was guided right to, but it doesn't always look that way, right? We have to get through those moments where it seems like it's gone or it's lost and it's not. So thanks for letting me explain that little part of the movie because I do love that movie. I watch it over and over, and I've read the book a couple times too. Iona says, I know for sure they are not as they seem. I think I read that, didn't I? Sorry, love. Exactly. Right? Excuse me. I would like to say I also followed my soul guidance. It is funny because we know to trust, but it isn't easy. It's not, is it? And it doesn't always turn out the way we thought it would or look the same we thought it would, but it will. Oh, but prison first, right? And man, it's amazing. Yep, hear it. Yeah. Temporary defeat. It does feel like defeat, right? Little do we know it's not defeat at all. It's just that part of our humanness because we see it from our human lens and it looks like defeat. But it's really not. I love that. So even that, right? Forgiving ourselves for doubting, forgiving ourselves for resisting. Oh my goodness, there's a big one for me, isn't it, Iona? I hope you laugh at that too, because Iona knows I was saying past tense because I'm not owning that anymore. Was the queen of resistance. But going with more flow now, trusting more now, more guidance now. So yeah, I love that. Iona says, because environments we are in prison. Thank you for saying that too, because I had not said that yet. So Iona, for those who don't know, is my joint vision partner and the founder of the Soul Legacy Academy and Spiritual Business YouTubers Network. And Iona goes through the 7 freedoms. So she has an acronym. We have our acronyms. Cheers to financial freedom. And today with the second letter E in the word cheers, today stands for environment. So Environmental Freedom Thursday is what we talk about on Thursdays. An environment first starting within ourselves, right? Or this environment, this human meat suit, as some call it, this human body environment first. And whatever's going on in here, kind of like a TV screen, projects out around us, right? Which is hard to swallow sometimes because we see out around us and it's not always, I'm like, that doesn't feel like it's the same. Like there's some static in this screen big time, but that's okay. We just move through it, we work through it. Thank you. I'm glad you laughed at that with me. But it's taught me how to help others also move through resistance, right? So I know Iona usually says, if anybody with resistance, go see Robin. She'll help you get through that. It's because I do it, right? I've done it so much. I do it quicker and easier now, so I can help others do it quicker and easier as well. Because it's a thing, isn't it? Resistance is a thing. And it says, yep, it doesn't feel like it is the same at all. Present truth, truth, right? And sometimes, yeah, I don't know. This type of music isn't everybody's thing, and I've liked a variety of genres for a long time. But there's a song called "My Own Prison," and there's so many words in that song that I can that resonate, and I think it's very accurate and true. And because sometimes our own prison is our own mind, it's our own humanness ego. It's how we perceive things and choices that we make and cycles we repeat and all of that, right? But that's why we're on this journey. That's why we show up on this live. That's why we do our journaling. That's why we get motivated to show up and speak out and serve deep. And that's why we created our movements and hold true to those movements and have that vision and that mission to help others. It fuels it, right? See? How do you do this on screen? That right there. That's what she does. Goes so funny. Truth. Feels good to laugh though, doesn't it? Mind stuff, unintentional thinking. Yeah, it gets on that hamster wheel we've been talking about this week, right? It just jumps on the wheel and just goes like on autopilot from the old conditional conditions and programs. No. So the seven freedoms, Iona calls them the intentional living codes because intentional living, right, in all areas of our life, including our thinking and our emotions and our environment and our contribution. I love all those emojis. It's funny on camera when you're trying to point at stuff like where it goes because it's not what you always think, right? It's like when people get on here and point up at their, oh, see, there I did it. Sometimes like, nope, it's over there where it shows up and not over here. And it's just weird. But anyway, so we have intentional living codes where we intentionally, purposely use our mind for us and not allow it to get on a hamster wheel against us to feed our motivations more versus feeding the fear more, right? Iona and I were talking today about really getting intentional with our schedules again and what that's going to look like, right? Scheduling things out so we know what we have to work with. There's still flexibility in it, but not just allowing it to be whatever it's going to be each day. There's flow is a great thing, but we don't actually flow forward enough when we just let our mind go on a hamster wheel, right? There has to be some intentions that we set purposely to show up in the best way possible. Iona says it feels lit. I think so too. I'm excited. And you know what I love? I've noticed in reflection that a couple of the conversations that we've had over the past couple weeks, like intermittently conversations here and there, things that come up, we move through them so quickly. Where in the past we didn't, like it took a little longer, you know? So it's pretty stinking amazing that we move through them quicker. 7 years of automation, baby. I love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, that forgiveness to allow us to move, right? And I think that just validates or supports or kind of like provides some evidence, if you will, the freedom that forgiveness brings us. Because if I was still stuck in the same blame, shame, and guilt I was wrapped up in a couple of years ago when we were first getting started, I wouldn't be in the same space that I am now, right? And again, is this the exact same space I want to be in and all the details? Nope. But it's where I need to be right now. It does offer me opportunities right now. It does hold true to my values right now, right? And there's still so much I can do right now. So if I was still holding on to those resentments, the blame, shame, guilt, the anger, the grossness, the blocks of all the things, I wouldn't be in that space now. I wouldn't be in this I wouldn't be in this environment right now. Let me start with that. It's not even the whole meat suit. It's the thinking, the thought patterns. I wouldn't be able to jump off the hamster wheel like I can right now. Now I can recognize it, be the observer of it, process through it. And that processing is kind of like slowing down the hamster wheel. So instead of that little hamster just like do constantly going, it's like, oh, now we're slowing down. And the hamster wheel's, getting to the point of it's stopping, and now we can step off the hamster wheel, right? Now we're being more intentional. Now we're moving forward. Now we're breaking up the block and we're clearing it out and moving on. I love that. Not gonna lie. So true. Absolutely. Freedom is a high vibe. Yeah, it is. It's amazing. And it's so cool that I figured that's what that was, high vibration, coolness. It's amazing that, so environmental freedom Thursdays, right? My physical environment has been the same since October 2021, right? October 2021. I've been in the same environment. I've not been in the same environment here, right? I've not been stuck on the same hamster wheel since October 2021. I've been able to move through and step off the hamster wheel and get more intentional. I've done a lot of work in the since October 21. Now that I think about it, like it just made me, I had that quick visual pop through my head of when I started my website and how that looked then versus how it looks now. I know I'm just curious, and you don't have to answer, but if you look through, I just did this the other day actually, like scrolled down through my webpage, and it's really evolved quite a bit. And that's exciting. And that has happened since October 2021. So even when my ego, humanness jumps on the bandwagon of poor me, this isn't exactly where I want to be right now, or maybe life decides to life and I feel some contrast. It's fine. A lot has evolved and progressed, and I have gratitude for all of that. It's stinking amazing. Hence, self-care really matters, you guys. Intentional living really matters. It makes such a difference. Makes so much sense. Perfect. Did I miss? I did. I'm sorry. Let me back up. Anna says, we have moved. I look like I have gone backwards, but I'm propelling myself forward, and I forgave myself along the way. Beautiful. Exactly. I love that so much. I love that. Me too. Okay, now I'm on a roll. It's so true. Makes so much sense. Perfect. Vision board, baby. That. And it comes more and more clear. That vision becomes more and more clear. And the pieces in the vision board, and I shared that with Iona earlier as well. Like, we are just kind of quickly processing through some of the realizations and possibilities and opportunities that could come from this space, right? So cool. And I just mean this space, the space of being, the space of openness, the space of acceptance, and the space of gratitude, and the space of receiving, and the space of expansion and trust and faith, and all of that space. I don't necessarily mean just the physical space. May or may not be this physical space. That's not even it. I take all that other space of expansion with me wherever I go, though, whether it's here or somewhere else. I have scrolled, love. Oh, did I? I am watching and witnessing a blessing. Fantastic. They do. It does, right? It does matter. My vision has been clear. Isn't it neat? I love it. No, thank you. I adore you too. For reals. And it is so exciting. Again, moving through things quickly because a couple of days ago, trying to remember what day, if it was health freedom or emotional freedom. Either way, like I had tearful moments, right, where I was releasing and I was talking to Iona through that. And then um this morning, like I could feel some anger kind of sneaking in and some resentment kind of sneaking in, but not enough to take me down, right? It was like, no, I see you. Excuse me, I see you, and we're not going there. We're going to keep it this way, and we're going to look at it that way, and we're going to, we're just kind of moving through it. And I'm doing this as if I'm going around it, but not really around it, more like through it, because we can feel things and think things like roller coaster motion, right? And that's okay. but we keep moving in the right direction. Words of wisdom, right on. So I hope this is helpful for anyone who watches on the replay or who's bounced in and out. I know it's really helpful for us. Again, we show up for ourselves, and then we're showing up live for you as well, because we want to be supportive in your own self-care. If you happen to notice and look at my description, I added my quote. I'm going to start sharing it daily as your reminder, as my own reminder. And I said that opposite, but that's okay. As our reminder, the purpose of my self-love movement is to ultimately end suicide. That's just is what it is. I truly believe that if we all loved ourselves enough, suicide wouldn't be a thing. It wouldn't even exist. And that is a topic that is very close to me. Enough that it just brought tears to my eyes. Whew. So yeah, holding space for ourselves, showing up for ourselves, intentionally hopping off the hamster wheel, right? Going through the intentional living codes, allowing ourselves to clear and release icky energies, right? Allowing that forgiveness to occur, showing ourselves some love. Any love is a great start. Any self-care is a great start. Journaling is a wonderful process, whether we do it pen and paper, whether we do it digitally, through video, auditory. Some people kind of journal through other creative, like artistic ways too, through paintings or, self-expression in that way. Whatever works for you, as long as it works for you and you're doing it intentionally to take care of you and to clear. Pivot, it is a pivot, isn't it? We pivot up, and that's where we do that in the heart space. So thank you for that reminder too. So when you think of the chakra system, the heart is kind of that connective point. From the heart down in the lower chakras, it's like lower vibrational energy there. It's more where we hold a lot of our humanness or human experiences or just some unresolved stuff. Things get stuck in our memories and whatnot. And then from the heart up, it's higher vibrational chakras. It's like really pulling in that unconditional love from God, source, creator, right? And it meets in the heart space. But we need to get what we need to get in this life experience. So when we're actually ready to clear and release, we can pivot up, right? Kind of up out of that hamster wheel, if you will. If we're not quite there yet, no blame, shame, or guilt, but that energy, we kind of dip down to repeat that part of the cycle again into the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, and it'll work its way back up to the heart space, right? It's all part of the process. I love you billions too. Thank you. It's like I clicked on it and didn't read it. I went on my little tangent. We gotta love those tangents. Also, if you check the description, I do have a few links available there for you. So my YouTube channel, I had to think of what's on my, yeah, that's on the description. I had to think of what I put in there. If you don't already, check out my YouTube channel. I have some playlists available there for you. Sorry, I got distracted. There's a link to the 7-day Chakra Healing Challenge, which is a free challenge. There's last round is there for you on the replays. If you want to get started, you don't have to wait. The next live round starts September 25th. So yeah, sign up and join me live for the next live round. And if you're ready, if you don't know Reiki already and you want to build your own energy healing lifestyle and you want to learn Reiki, I'm offering a boot camp you can sign up for as well, which I'm stinking excited. If you go check it out, you're not going to see the whole curriculum yet because I haven't uploaded it all yet purposely, to be honest. So I find that each time I'm going a little bit further, something says not yet. And in that not yet moment, the thing drops in that I need to add. So adding it's going in. And more it's an ongoing. It's like, it reminds me of a living document, like we just keep adding more as life continues and more evolves and more drops in. We just add it, which I love. And then also, if you are a spiritual business owner and you want to leverage your light work and lifestyle, I have a link there, easily accessible for you to hop on and subscribe to Iona's YouTube channel as well, which is the Soul Legacy TV, Spiritual Business Success with Iona. And there's also a link there for her master class, so you don't want to miss that either. And it's free, so no reason to miss it. Iona says, fourth week, September. Yeah, I know, right? September 25th, the fourth week of September. You're right. And it's coming up so quickly. It blows my mind. I just love it. Thank you, dear. And thank you for staying on the live with me. Thank you for all who hop in and out and come back for the replay. Feel free to comment. Again, homework. I almost skipped the homework. Gracious. Thank goodness I didn't. So, as always, check in with yourself, right? You can do a body scan. You can just kind of feel in. Start with your head. Can you feel your hair? Go through your, your forehead, your eyes, your ears, your nose. Just work all the way down through your body. If you're already familiar with the chakra system, you can do a chakra scan. Just feel into the energy of each of your chakras. Give yourself a moment to breathe. Give yourself a moment to see what might be coming up that needs your attention. If you notice that something is coming up that needs your attention, aware, assess, align, right? So we're becoming aware of it. Something that comes up, assess it. Like, meaning, is it not in alignment? Is this something that feels heavy? Is this something that needs cleared? Then we do whatever action is needed to align with it, right? Ask yourself, set those tasks, what intentions, what can I do to then align with it? If something comes up and you're like, this just feels wonderful and this feels great, like acknowledge that too, right? We are not dismissing the good things. We're not. Own that too. Be excited about that. Hold on to that. That also tells us what is in alignment with us, right? Yeah, don't disregard that. I think too that oftentimes we do and we shouldn't, so let's not. You can drop your comments or your responses in the comments below these videos if you would like. I have a guide in the self-care group that if you would like to participate in there, you can make a post, you can use a photo, you can do a video, you can do a live, however you would like to share your homework for the day, or you can put it on your own post if you would like and tag me in it. That would be amazing as well. So thank you again for your time and space, and I will see you guys tomorrow. So much love.